Welcome back to 3-Minute Theology. As we continue through church history, we come to the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70. Rome had controlled Israel since 63 BC, appointing Jews in 40 BC, and generally treating it as any other Roman province. The Jewish people were never very happy about it. Under Herod Agrippa, Judea was nominally independent, although still a Roman province. After Agrippa's death, the province was brought back under more direct Roman control. Tension between Jew and Roman turned into open conflict in AD 66. The Jews succeeded in taking control of Jerusalem, forcing Agrippa II and the Roman officials to flee the city. They also managed to defeat the 12th Legion, led by Cestius Gallus. Nero responded by giving General Vespasian 4 legions in orders to crush the Jewish rebellion. Vespasian defeated the Jews in Galilee, but was recalled to Rome when Nero committed suicide. In AD 69, Vespasian himself becomes emperor. He sends his son Titus to finish the work of subduing the Jews. Titus lays siege to Jerusalem in early AD 70 while the city was still full of travelers celebrating the Passover, and after 7 months succeeds in breaching the walls. The Jews fight for almost another month, a desperate defense of the temple. General Titus himself had wanted to preserve the temple while putting down the Jewish revolt, but he was unable to do so. Against his orders and over his objections, the Roman soldiers, driven to fury by the defiance of the Jews, burned the temple to the ground in August of AD 70. The city itself is razed to the ground. The only thing remaining is a portion of the western wall and 3 towers from Herod's palace. 97,000 Jews are enslaved, and the entirety of the population besides that is put to death. Josephus writes that over 1 million people were killed in the destruction of Jerusalem. Now the Christians in Jerusalem had escaped the destruction. They heeded the warnings of Christ. They fled from the city well before it was encircled by the Romans. They survived. More significantly, the destruction of Jerusalem well and truly marks the end of Judaism as the religion of God. It's an undeniable fact that the Judaism of today is not the Judaism from before the destruction of the temple. The temple is destroyed, the sacrifices are ended, that the priesthood no longer performs its priestly roles. Priests have been largely replaced by rabbis. They strive to cling to the law of Moses and the traditions of their people, but they lack the sacrifices. The old covenant was a shadow of the good things to come through the new covenant. Judaism clings to the shadows of the past rather than walking in the light of the great fulfillment of their religion, the great fulfillment of the promises made to Abraham and to David and through Moses and the prophets. The temple of God is now the congregation of those who worship God through his Son, Jesus Christ. All these things were promised and declared in Scripture and visibly and powerfully demonstrated in history through the destruction of Jerusalem. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you next time. Until then, keep on, and God bless.